Oh, I knew that was coming. Let's move on to something a little bit more fun. Let's move on to South Florida and Miami. But I want to say something out front here. If you've not been listening or watching the show for the entirety of it, when Coach and I started, we realized something about us. We are cursed. Anytime that this show backs a team, that team, by extension, becomes cursed. And in the NHL playoffs, we have damned three separate franchises to losing by backing them either with a pick of the week or just saying that we actually like them. And we are now at the point where we have four teams left in the NHL playoffs. And one of those teams we really, really, really want to root for. I'm just not sure if we should say it live on here because we might damn them to lose the next series. But the Florida Panthers, scrappy, gritty 8 seed, and they are in the conference finals against the team, the Carolina Hurricane. I am wearing a hat, a Hartford Whalers hat right now of their old digs. And I honestly want the Panthers to win so bad, but I just know that if we try to will it into existence, we're going to get the damn Hurricanes in the Stanley Cup final.
Well, there's fewer things in sports that could happen that would be more um, boring than the Carolina Panthers making it to the Stanley Cup final. I could stand if they were the only way I'd get behind them is if they were going to wear the Hartford Whalers uniforms for the rest of the playoffs, which won't happen. But it's just a boring franchise. I mean, let's look at these playoffs, even including our beloved Florida Panthers. Do these cities say hockey to you? Miami, Florida, Raleigh, North Carolina, Dallas, Texas, and Las Vegas, Nevada. Do any of those cities scream hockey to you? No, they do not. Which brings me to my next point. I got a bone to pick with an entire fucking country, Canada. Okay? There's like three things in this world that you're supposed to be good at. Hockey is at the top of that fucking list, just ahead of maple syrup, flannel, and denim. Okay? And it absolutely drives me crazy, okay, that you guys couldn't figure out how to get one of your fucking teams into the conference finals at all. Not a single one of them. Every single one of them underachieved. This is what you do. It's absolutely preposterous. I cannot believe it. And so
It,
just put Canada on my shit list right now.
by the way, you did the thing that I thought I was going to do. It is the Carolina Hurricanes, not the Carolina Panthers. So
Fuck them.
congrats to you. But the Carolina Panthers are also a boring franchise. So we'll just lump them all into the same thing. They could be a hockey team. I don't even know. I don't care. Bryce Young looks like he's about 4 feet tall, standing behind the offensive line at practice. So we probably won't be seeing anything with them. But here's the thing about Canada that's so strange is you're right. They are so passionate and all the best players, honestly, in the entire NHL mostly come from Canada. It's 30 years now since they've won a Stanley Cup. The Patrick Waugh-led Canadiens of 1993 over Wayne Gretzky's LA Kings, they were the last Canadian team to win a Stanley Cup final. That's a really long time for a country whose sport is hockey. And it's a kind of saddening to me a little bit. Like I feel some pity because it was heartbreaking to watch the Maple Leafs fans after losing game 3 in overtime. I mean, the only fans I know in the entire world who still show up outside of their arena in the streets when they're on the road are Canadian hockey fans. And they were left just so downtrodden. And it's amazing because I was trying to explain this to my wife about the Maple Leafs. She was like, "Why are they so sad?" And I said, "It has been almost 70 years since they've won a Stanley Cup. And that is a proud franchise. They show up every single year. They've been through so much crap and they have nothing to show for it." And that goes for any of the other franchises. Ottawa Senators are a little bit younger, so maybe they get a pass. Winnipeg Jets just came back. But the Edmonton Oilers, with all that history with Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier, and
That's
they
when it
haven't,
ended.
yeah, but they went to one cup final. I think it was in '06 or something like that. And they haven't won anything since then. And it's a lot of sadness, but I'm kind of with you, man. If you're good at something, fucking be good at it.
Yeah, I mean, if your most successful franchise in the last 2 decades is the Raptors. I mean, and that's only one championship we're talking about. Kawhi Leonard, the greatest Canadian fucking professional sports player. He's not even Canadian.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We will be watching the rest of the playoffs, though. Coach, I don't know about you. I've had a great time texting with you about the hockey playoffs because they have been interesting. And I just feel like they're elevated. Like the crowds are elevated. I'm not going to say that Dallas and Carolina fans aren't bringing it because they're just like the listeners of this show. Small group, very passionate. So you get a lot of passionate fans in these hockey arenas. And when these goal horns go off and the crowd just erupts, honestly, I get goosebumps every single time because it is amazing. And I don't see a crowd elevate quite like that in any other sport in the playoffs. I think baseball is kind of up there as well. The NBA can be pretty good, but usually those crowds are pretty good all year. But man, there's something about when you flip the switch to the playoffs, hockey crowds bring it like no other, no matter whether the team is from a hockey town or not. They just bring it. And I do love that part of it.
Well, it's kind of this perfect combination of the things that we like best about different sports. It brings like the physicality of like football. You sort of have the pace a little faster, but like sort of the pace of basketball. And then, the scoring aspect is similar, like maybe soccer a little bit, where every goal really fucking matters and is really important. So when you add this fast paced game with this extreme physicality and just constant action, where everyone's literally hanging on every touch of the puck, because I mean, literally a goal could happen almost any time, and when it does, it could be so impactful. And that's what makes it. I mean, literally, you're on the at this time of year when it really matters, in the playoffs. You're literally on the edge of your seat the entire time, and you watch these games, and the fans are on their feet the entire time, and just engaged in what's happening. And you just hear these oohs and ahs, and because they're just literally hanging on by a thread, gritting their teeth every time the puck gets in their own end, hoping it stays out of the net. Ready to explode with excitement when it's in the when they're on offense and have an opportunity to score. And I don't know if there's any other sport that kind of builds anticipation like that. It's almost like the feeling you get in the last 30 seconds of a tied basketball game in the NCAA tournament, except for it lasts for 2 hours. I mean, it's just you're really right there at the cusp of just extreme excitement or disappointment the entire time.
Yeah, you are on the edge of your seat. And I find myself being like, oh, especially because there's so many close calls and the puck is just an inch away from being in and out. It's very, very exciting.